Welcome back, everybody, to another Tasty Sports Report live stream. And tonight I am very pleased to announce that I have TD Phins Talk, the leader of the Miami Dolphins on YouTube. It's great to have you on, man.
Well, it's great to be on to talk to a strong Chiefs fan like yourself. This should be a great conversation.
I appreciate it. This is going to be a good game. I've been looking forward to this for a while now. I have no bad blood towards the no bad blood towards the Dolphins. You guys helped us a lot last year, which I really appreciate. But I've been saying for a while this is going to be a trap game. I know Tyson. He told me to kind of give you shit about your Dolphins, so I may or may not do that. We'll see. But I think this is going to be a good game. And honestly, I don't want to say that you guys are going to have a great chance of winning it, but I think that out of everybody we've played, you guys are going to have a good shot.
Yeah, we should. This is going to be a great matchup game, and it's really our test for the season. And you shouldn't give me much flack. Casey, he's just angry that the Patriots aren't going to make the playoffs. But
you have no idea how happy I was when they lost last night.
Exactly. No, you were more happy last year when we beat them, so you all
get
the first seed. So that was pretty cool, man.
Well, this is a big game for you guys. I don't think it's make or break because you guys are doing pretty well. I think you guys 8-4 so far.
Yeah, 8-4. But again, there were some impressive wins, but at the same token, none to the stature of what we'll be playing against with the Chiefs. That's why this is going to be our biggest test. And I love this game because I personally feel like we're probably one of the two teams in the NFL that are better matched versus the Chiefs. But, the game has to be played for that to actually be determined. But I really do think so. That's why I'm excited about this game to see what the outcome ends up being.
Is Tua starting?
Yes, he is. No question.
That's good to hear. One thing you guys do very well is you're very good on defense. I know we gave you guys Ogba, which we probably should have kept because he's just been a monster this year. Mm-hmm. What do you think that you have to do to kind of slow down Mahomes to win this game?
The keys are simple. Bump and run, send pressure. And many teams don't do that. Many teams don't do that versus the Chiefs. I'm looking at all the games where the Chiefs struggle, which are few, but I'm looking at those games, and there's a common theme. Send pressure, bump and run, make Mahomes get rid of the ball quick, and make those receivers and Mahomes be perfect at the same time. It doesn't mean they can't be, but that is the formula that gives you the best chance. But for some reason, all these teams, they get scared of the speed. They go in a zone, and they make life easy for Mahomes, just throwing a whole bunch of 8-yard passes, first downs and first downs and first downs. And you can't do that in this league.
Yeah, I agree. The question that I almost have is, who are you going to take away? Because, I think that you're going to do a pretty good job of trying to get Kelsey somewhat under control. But are you going to take away the deep guy in Tyreek Hill who could just burn past everybody? Or are you going to take away Travis who's just going to run those 10-yard routes and just be wide open for the first down? What kind of pressure do you think you can put on some of these weapons that the Chiefs have?
That's not how our defense is built. You have to understand, we have the personnel this year. We have two of the top corners in the league. We're at least two of the highest paid, but they're playing like top corners. Byron Jones is shutting down his side of the field. Xavier Howard now finally getting respect to be mentioned as a potential candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. He has 8 interceptions on the season, and he's on pay. He should pass 10 because many people don't know he actually missed the first 3 games. So in 11 games, he has 8 interceptions. But wow. He's been playing phenomenal, and he's just been dealing with injuries in his career, and this is the first time he's been fully healthy. Not to forget, he went to the Pro Bowl 2 years ago because last year he was hurt, and he had 7 interceptions that year, dealing with injuries that year, missing several games. So he's a machine, but the real question is who's going to be on who. That is yet to be seen. We really don't know what Brian Flores is going to bring you guys' way. And this is the Brian Flores, the same one who held the Chiefs to 0 points at halftime of the AFC championship game with the Patriots. He was the defensive coordinator calling the calls in that game. And he did what I said the game plan needs to be. They sent pressure to Mahomes. They bump and run on the outside, make him get rid of the ball quick. And to answer your question, that's the formula to not having to worry about the deep ball. If you make Mahomes get the ball out of his hand quick, you have less to worry about when it comes to the deep ball. And you want him to hold that ball. You want him to cut down half of the field and roll right just to extend the play. And we have the defensive personnel to do that. We have the number one slot cornerback in the NFL right now. He's ranked number one covering the slot. And again, those two outside guys have been shut down. That's really been the story to our success this season. I mean, many can say the first 3 games that we lost, people are forgetting we started 0-3. But 2 major pieces on our defense was out. One of them being the corner and the nickel. We weren't playing the right guy in the position at the time. Ever since then, I mean, what are we, 8-1? 8-1 since we got healthy. That's
yeah.
8 in the one game that we did lose that we should have was against the Broncos, and it was Tua's figuring it out game, you know. So
the Broncos played us close too, man. So I mean, we should have beat that team by more, but
our defense dominated them. Our defense dominated them, but we couldn't do anything on offense in that game. So that's why I like this matchup. We're gonna be sending some pressure packages and seeing when Mahomes get rid of that ball quick, can those guys get open quick, make those quick routes? Because we're not letting them sit in the zone. Kelsey running 8 yards, turning around, catching and getting tackled. I don't think we're gonna allow that type of game at all.
So I think your defense is the best qualified to go up against this team. Like you said, Brian Flores in that AFC Championship game, it made me pull my hair out. But I think that the question is can Tua get something going on offense? I know you guys have what? I think the number 1 scoring defense or something like that. You force a lot of turnovers, and you put
2 a game.
Wow. Okay, so you put up a lot of points off of turnovers, and force turnovers on defense. If that doesn't happen, do you think that Tua can put up enough points kind of to go in a shootout with Mahomes?
This is the week that's going to be very puzzling for everyone. It might shock the Chiefs, or it might be more of the same. So to be fair, I can't give you a definitive yes, but here's what I'll tell you. They've been trying to run a conventional offense that's watered down for Tua. Last week in the first half, we went with that conventional offense again. And finally, they put Tua in what he's best at. And he had the third quarter that made you feel like he was Mahomes. You know, 2 touchdowns, went up and down the field 3 times easily, making play after play after play. We never had a third down because we didn't need to get to it. And that's by spreading it out 4 wide and 5 wide in a hurry up offense.
Okay.
That's what they went into that, and it was a thing of beauty. It's almost like, what were we doing the last 4 weeks on offense trying to figure out? This is so easy. I mean, he made it look so easy. And you can tell it's no different from when he was at Alabama. Spread those receivers out, you know, hurry up offense on occasions, and get to see everything in front of them. Get to see the pass rush coming. Get to see all of that. But I don't even think that that's going to be our offensive strategy. I think that our offensive strategy is going to be running the ball. The Kansas City Chiefs are the 3rd worst run defense team in the NFL.
Yeah. That was my next question. I was going to be like, are you guys going to run the ball? Because if you're going to have a chance, I would think that you're going to – is it Myles Gaskin? You're just going to give him the rock?
He's going to be pounding it all day. What I love about this kid, he's one of the smallest guys in the league. And when you look at him, you're like, oh, this should be a cakewalk. But I'm puzzled. This man breaks more tackles than anyone I know in the backfield. More than that, like I've never seen someone turn so many -2 losses into a +4. And I think that in this game with the weaker run defense, we're going to spread it out, a halfback draw the heck out of Kansas City. You know, and when you actually try to play the run, that's when Tua's going to be at his best, hitting his weapons, hitting those guys in the receiving core. That's why I really do think Miami can open it up on offense versus the Chiefs. And on defense is the real test. And I'm feeling a little confident about that for some reason. And it is the Chiefs. I respect them. Don't get me wrong. I respect them like no other. But I think we'll have a game plan. If anybody knows, it's Flores.
Well, I respect the Dolphins. I think you guys hit it out of the park with Flores. I think he's a really good coach. And in 1 year, you guys are pretty much turned it around. So let's just say, hypothetically, you do lose this game.
Okay.
Where does that put you in the wild card setting? I know there's a Raiders fan in the comments. Their team's battling for it. The Colts, I guess, is another team that's trying to get in. Where would you guys fall if you did lose this game?
It's crazy. We still be in a beautiful place. There's only one thing you can ask your team to be at this point of the year: to control their own destiny. That's the best thing you can ask your team to do, is control their own destiny. And right now we control our own destiny. Win 4 games in a row, we win the division. Lose against the Chiefs and win the next 3, we're in the playoffs. So it only gets a little choppy if we lose 2 of the next 4. Then we're like, oh, it depends on what everyone else is doing. But again, we play the Raiders. We have to play Buffalo. So those are games that are going to work out in our favor if we win them. So I would put it like this: literally, if we go 2-2, we still have a decent, I would say 40% shot to get in the playoffs, depending on everyone else. But if we win 3 out of 4, we're guaranteed playoffs. And we go 4-0, we're going to win the division.
Okay, so one of the questions that I have is, you've seen this Chiefs offense. I mean, there's some there's a lot of things you got to worry about. What is something that concerns you the most about this Chiefs offense?
This may sound crazy, and trust me, all your listeners and watchers are gonna be like, "This guy's delusional." Nothing scares me with them. Let me elaborate before I get beat up. Every time I watch a Chiefs game, I'm watching a whole bunch of teams sit in a zone because they're scared of the speed getting behind them, and they get beat anyway. I'm watching a whole bunch of teams allowing 4 receivers to run 8 yards, turn around, and Mahomes throws in the middle of a zone, and it is the easiest game ever. And I'm watching Chiefs games after Chiefs games after Chiefs games, and I am like, every team, almost, not all, but almost every team they play, they're making it too easy. It's the same thing Buffalo did against San Francisco the other night. They ran a zone, and what do players do all day? Run in the zone, turn around, quick completion, tackle, 7 yards, and let's keep going down the field, guys. Guaranteed plays. And I respect the Chiefs because they take what's given to them, and that's all you can do in this league. But in the biggest games, when they play a team that has a above average pass rush, and they get in your face, bump and run, and put their hands on you, that's when you see the Chiefs punting a lot. That's when you see the back and forth, and it's close in the 4th quarter, and a miracle has to happen, which Mahomes is capable of, and he's done it and proven it before. So I think we're going to come in with that mindset and that game plan, and Tyreek Hill's going to have to take the top off and beat us that way for us to say, oh, okay. But we're going to make them do that. 90% of the teams in the league don't make quarterbacks do that. And the great teams like the Chiefs take advantage of that. And we're gonna come in and do what we have to do and try to shut that down. And shutting the Chiefs down, that's easier said than done. We all know that. Like I said, I respect the Chiefs. But again, I don't put much merit in all the teams that play them that way. It's those tough games that, I mean, the Raiders did it to you all. And they almost won the second game. Those corners got in your face, and they tried to send an extra man. And what that requires is, number one, the receiver has to be perfect, and Mahomes has to be perfect. Believe it or not, when I watch film, these quarterbacks aren't as perfect as people make it seem. It's easy to look perfect when you're throwing in zones all day where guys are wide open.
Yeah.
But when you bump and run and that pass has to be in a specific place, a lot of these quarterbacks aren't as perfect as they seem. Mahomes is one of the greater ones, okay? But again, none of these quarterbacks are that perfect consistently. So make them be perfect all day. Make the receiver run the best route all day, and you're going to make plays out of that. They're going to make mistakes here and there, but shame on the teams that don't even try. Shame on them.
Well, honestly, and I think that's something you alluded to, is I think this is going to be a close game. I think the Chiefs just kind of play teams close now. I think it's kind of a lack of aggressiveness sometimes. I think Andy Reid kind of takes his foot off the gas pedal, but I think the Chiefs understand how important this game is because our schedule, it's not easy. We got you guys on the road and then the Saints next week in New Orleans. So these upcoming games are crucial. And I want to see how our team goes up against you guys because I think you're going to make the playoffs. So whether we meet again, I mean, that's kind of up to where the seeding is. But this is a playoff game, and it's going to have that kind of atmosphere because we need to prove that we can beat some good teams. I know we've got a few good wins, but this year I feel like the NFL is kind of just all lopsided, where you got the great teams and then everything else is just kind of below average. But I would say that our offensive game plan should be to try to get something established in the running game so we can do some RPOs. Because if we can get Mahomes to get your defense off balance, it could be a very long day. But another question that I had is how can the Dolphins force things on defense to get your offense in good field position? You're on mute, TD.
My bad. I had kids in the background. I was trying to make sure everybody could hear you. But that's what we do. That's what we actually do. Those turnovers and that good field position is coming because when we send 7 and like let me give you an example of how we run our defense. We send 7-man blitzes at times, zero, okay? We will get in your face, bump and run, okay? And when you send that 7, what happens is you all have one extra guy, which is typically the running back right back there on his hip, right? And we send a guy not at Mahomes, but at that running back to give the illusion of pressure from that guy, but he's really playing man-to-man. But we're also clearing out those lanes that Mahomes likes to skirt out of the backfield and roll out. So what happens is he also has to get rid of the ball ASAP because when you send 7, you can't veer right or veer left to get out of the pocket because everything is collapsing you in, and you got to get rid of the ball fast. And that's, once again, Byron Jones, #1 rating in the NFL for distance between him and an offensive player. Our #1 corner is #1 in the slot with distance between him and the offensive player, and Xavier Howard, the interception machine. He's your bait guy. He's the guy that's going to show Mahomes a guy that's 5 feet separation, and as soon as he cocks back to throw, he's going to put on the Jets and close that gap and pick you off. So Mahomes.
So you guys are going to play man and then blitz packages. So man and then all out blitz.
This is what we're going to do it all day. We're going to send man-to-man, and then there's times we're going to send like nobody's down in the three-point stand. Nobody's sitting there coming at Mahomes that way. Everybody's standing around like they're at a party, and you don't know where it's coming from. And a lot of times we send 7, and the 2 interior guys back up to take those inside routes. So the corners know, all right, I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to follow you on the outside. I'm going to let you come into me. If you go inside, we got a guy dropping back off the D-line. So you don't know where the pressure's coming from, if we're doing it this time, if we're not, but we're giving you that look all the time. And our defensive linemen have many interceptions this year. I mean, our defensive tackles are intercepting balls. They're coming up on the line, and that's what I love about this defense. We're not just hiking, we back out. They hike the ball and we hit our guy, then we back out so that we get the middle so the blitzer gets a free rush before we back out of it. And those guys are literally getting interceptions from quarterbacks trying to get rid of that ball quick, throwing those quick slants and things. It's going to be very interesting, man. I'm excited about it. This is what I want to see. I want to see Kansas City on offense. I want them to be on offense all day because I want to judge our defense. Not all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. I mean, I'm interested to see how often you guys blitz because if that's one thing that I've learned is Mahomes is very good against the blitz. I can't remember what his percentage is right now, but he's very good at getting the ball out very quickly. So,
and that's where I disagree. The stats say he's good against the blitz, but there's twofold to that. When teams blitz Mahomes, they're playing a zone. When teams blitz Mahomes and they're playing man, they're playing 10-yard cushion. How can you guard 10-yard? How can you guard a guy on a crossing route with 10 yards of cushion?
It's pretty easy to catch the ball.
That's what I'm saying. This is what's happening in the NFL. And he holds the title for a stat. Oh, number one versus the blitz. Yeah, but the back end of that is playing terrible defensive scheme against it. You have to be man to man, and if you get beat, you get beat. Everybody keeps saying, oh, if you play man to man, Tyreek Hill is gonna burn you all day. Here's the difference. He has to throw the ball in 2 seconds. Tyreek Hill ain't getting 50 yards down the field in 2 seconds. That's the point, and that's what teams – now, if for some reason they pick up the blitz, we can get burnt. Anybody can, but you have to take that chance and compete. We're not going to lay down. We're going to compete. If Tyreek Hill has a big day, that means your O-line literally picked up blitzes like no other team has against us. So
and I don't expect that. Our offensive line's a patch job right now. Our right tackle, Mitchell Schwartz, is out. We got Mitchell Schwartz is out with the back spasm. So we have Mike Remmers as our backup right tackle. He got cooked last week. So I think you guys are going to get to Mahomes. The question is, can Mahomes make enough plays?
I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. You expect him to make plays. But I guess that was a fair question. Can he make enough? Again, anything's possible, but our plan is probably going to be to run the ball so we can keep it out of his hands a lot. And then when it's in his hands, we're going to be sending pressure. I am telling you now, this is going to be a game. Now, if we sit back for whatever crazy reason and we sit there in a zone or giving cushion all day, the only time we give cushion is on third down, because here's what we do on third downs, which is crazy, right? People worry about getting beat over the top, but this is what we do on third downs. 3rd and 5. We'll play 10 yards off, but we're sitting 7. And as soon as you hike the ball, we're not moving. Whatever side you look towards, we're crashing down. If it's a double move, you got us. But we're coming downhill fast. But we're sending 7. Or will you have time to execute a double move? We are getting to that quarterback fast. That has been the key to our success. Go look at the sacks, man. Ogba, as you know, he's been taken off this year. Kyle Van Noy had 3 sacks last week alone. Shaq Lawson had 2 sacks last week. Ogba had 1. I mean, we're in a whole bunch of – this is the beautiful part. It's a whole bunch of guys that nobody knows their name, but they're becoming household names. Van Ginkel, Zeiler, Raekwon Davis. All of these guys are getting at the quarterback, man. It's the scheme we're running, not the personnel per se.
Yeah.
It's the scheme, because we're requiring the quarterback to hold the ball so that somebody can come open. But the pass rush is coming, so he has to get rid of it. And that's why we also have so many interceptions.
So not to answer a question, but I think that you guys are going to do a pretty good job of taking away the deep pass because you can get to Mahomes because our offensive line is so bad. Watch for the crossing routes, though. I know you said you play man, but I think that Tyreek's speed crossing over the middle, he's going to have a chance to get a few catches. You might not get burned deep, but I think we're going to move the ball pretty well.
Tyreek's speed on crossing routes, again, the way we play football, you have to understand the schemes that we run. Another thing I didn't mention are safeties. If you go look at the top 10 safeties in the league, both of ours are in the top 10 right now. This secondary is like crazy. None of these guys played safety 2 years ago. They were corners. Bobby McCain was the number 1 rated nickel 3 years ago. Last year, Brian Flores said, I want to play you as safety. It didn't look great, but Brian Flores said, be patient. It's coming. Trust me, he has it. This year, he's one of the best safeties in the league. Eric Rowe, you know him from big games with the Patriots. He's the one who got that interception at the last play of the game to seal the Super Bowl win. I'm sure you remember that. Eric Rowe's been playing safety out of his mind. Both of these guys, Bobby McCain was a slot and Eric Rowe is an outside corner, and they're playing some of the best safety football. That's why I'm not worried about Kels. What's going to happen to Kels is they're going to have Eric Rowe shadowing on top of Kels, and they're probably going to flex Kyle Van Noy, expatriate who knows how to knows what it takes to beat the Chiefs. They're going to flex him underneath on Kels, and it's going to be interesting.
Well, the Raiders put one of their cornerbacks on Kelsey. Wasn't a smart move. I mean, Kelsey had a monster game. So ultimately, it's like, in my opinion, it's like, all right, you might shut down Kelsey, you might shut down Tyreek, but are we going to go to Sammy Watkins? Are we going to go to Mecole Hardman? I mean, there are so many different options. And even if you guys do get to Mahomes and the pocket collapses, Le'Veon or Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be waiting there in the flat to catch the ball, and the yards after catch that these guys get.
No one will wait in the flat all day. We'll never have anyone in the flat. Remember when I said we'll send 7? But the one on the end is actually coming at the running back. He's just giving the illusion that he's coming to Holmes. That's man to man. We're sending 7, but there's one guy that's coming with the running back, but he's also closing that lane. But if that running back takes off in the flat, he goes with them. It's true man to man. It's just that we actually send that 7th person, and the guy that's in the flat, we're sending, but we're going with them. You're not gonna have a running back. But when you say we have so many weapons, that's what I love about our defense. If they put Byron Jones on Tyreek Hill, you put Xavier Howard, the interception machine, on Sammy Watkins, you put Calvin Noy on Travis Kelce. I mean, we still got Bobby McCain. We still got Nick Needham, who's the #1 nickel in the league right now. You still got Eric Rowe. That's why I'm excited. This is the test. I mean, you're either going to blow us out by 40 or we're going to actually shock the world and show people that this defense is real. Because everybody, they have a good defense. But this is the game right here that I'm excited to see. I could be totally wrong and they just dog us. But it's something about it, man. The way that we built this team, we had the highest paid corners in the league and we go in the first round. And I didn't even mention our rookie that we picked number 26 overall, Noah Igbenogany, that plays corner. Oh. So he's actually on the bench coming behind these guys because how well they're playing. So Brian Flores said you can never have enough good corners as Kansas City. So this is what he built the team for, man.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we're gonna blow you guys out. I think we're gonna win, but it's gonna be such a close game because the Chiefs, they like to play it close for whatever reason. The Broncos put them close at home, and your defense is going to keep you in the game. My question is, can the offense put up enough points? And honestly, I think that your defense is probably going to give you a lot of opportunities to score, depending on if they can get turnovers on Mahomes.
This will be the game, man. I think that I'm going to go out on a limb to say we shock the league, and we win this game by 10 points. It's going to be just like Seattle losing last week. It's just going to be just like Pittsburgh losing last week. And they won't respect us. They're going to say every team lays down at some point. And that's me banking on this offense actually moving the ball. Because if you really think about it, if this offense does find success and puts up 30 points, we're winning this game. If this, do you know that we have the lowest, lowest scoring against. The second highest.
Oh yeah, you guys give up what, 16.5 points a game on average?
I think it's 17, and I gotta go look at it.
On the same point though, we only give up 20 points a game. So I mean, it's a little bit less, but also I haven't seen enough from Tua yet to be like, oh yeah, he can go toe to toe with Mahomes. He can put up points. He can move the ball. I mean, which game did he get benched in again?
What's that?
Which game did he get benched in again?
That was against the Denver Broncos.
Why'd they do that? Was he getting blown up by the pass rush, or they just benched him?
Yeah, it was the first game where one of our offensive linemen. You have to understand, we got 3 rookies running on that O line, but they're playing great football. We typically run 2, and they're high picks, though, first and second round picks. But we have. And one of them got hurt, so we had to switch people around. And that game was just rough offensively. We couldn't get anything done. And then they just said, hey, we're down by 10 points and the fourth quarter is about to start. Let's put Fitz in, see if we can move the ball a little better because every win counts. It wasn't a demotion for him. It was a case of things aren't going right for you today. They sacked you 6 times today. Let's go ahead and see what Fitz can do. And, Fitz is going to get rid of the ball fast. He knows what to do. He knows when to take off and do all of those things. So, and Tua learned from that. Fitz told him, sometimes guys are open and it may not look like it now, but you got to throw that ball because you know where they're going to end up on an out route. He hasn't made his break yet, but he is. And based off of the defender, but Tua's waiting to guarantee that you're open. He has 0 interceptions. Like what has it been?
He's played like 4 games though, right? He's only played like 4 games.
5 games, 5
Okay.
games, and 0 interceptions.
Yeah.
So that's a huge plus. But at the same token, there's guys that have been open, but he waits on them to get open versus knowing they're going to be open. And that's a young guy learning the playbook. Last week when they spread it out, he didn't care. He let it fly. He's not open now, but I know where he's going to be. And we were moving down the field with ease. Like we never made it to a third down. In a whole quarter, it was first down, second down, first down, first down, first down, first down, second down, first down. And 2 touchdowns easy in a field goal, I believe. So it was a thing of beauty, man. But I think that's what they're going to pick up. And they're going to rely on the run game. Tua's unstoppable if we get 5 yards on first down.
Okay. Well, the thing is our pass rush has been very bad. I mean, it's been very, very bad. We can't get pressure. Frank Clark, we're paying him a ton of money. He's not doing anything. And Chris Jones is just kind of a non-factor. So he's going to have time. But our secondary, I can't remember if I think it's like 7 overall or top 10 or something along the lines of that. But they're up there with the Dolphins in turnovers and picks per game. Last week, Tyrann Mathieu had 2 of them. Granted, it was against Drew Lock, but I think that both teams are going to get turnovers. It's just a matter of who can get it in the end zone. And for whatever reason, our defense will give you guys yards. I think that Tua will be able to move the ball, but we tighten up when we're in the red zone. We just seem to find a way to tighten up and stop opposing teams from getting in the end zone, and that's why we're winning some of these closer games.
Yeah, the thing is, you don't want Dolphins getting in the red zone, though, and I'm not even talking about touchdowns. If you let us get to the 40, we're getting points. We're getting points, guaranteed. We have the number 1 kicker in the NFL right now. I mean, this kid is just amazing, man, and that's the goal. You know, when you usually get teams to the 40, many of them are punting. You get us to the 40, we're sinking 50-yarders. He has the most 50-yarders, 56, 57, 58, 59. We have the best kicker in the league right now. And
I mean, dude, you can't beat us with field goals. You're going to have to put up points.
No. But that's the point. We're not going to try to beat you with field goals. But what I'm saying is, we're going to get. We have a possibility to get like an extra 9 points in a game if we get stopped at the 40. Most teams are punting, but at least we're walking away with 3 when most teams are punting. That's the difference that I'm saying here. So we're not going to beat you with field goals, but field goals can determine this game. Like you say, like the spread right now is what, 7 points? Let us get to the 43 times, and instead of punting and pinning you back, we get 9 points. That's a huge difference in an NFL game.
Yeah.
And he's our MVP, by the way. I know we got Xavier Howard, but everybody says our kicker is the real MVP because this guy just doesn't miss, man. He doesn't miss. He's too good, man. It's actually shocking. You know, you don't give kickers praise. You like, do your job and whatever. But when you're making 50, 53s, 55s, and 57s all the time and looking like you have more room and it's like clockwork, I'm not talking about he's 80%. No, this guy's running like even this season like a 97 and 96%. He missed 1 field goal this year, and it was like an easy one. And the commentators are jinxing him and how good he's been. So it is what it is, man. But this is going to be an exciting game, man, because I've never been more confident in this roster going up against what I like to say a juggernaut of a team in the Chiefs. Well coached on top of that.
Yeah, and I think somebody said it in the comments section. I think our defensive coordinator in Spags, he's going to put pressure on Tua. I don't know if it's through form of the pass rush because that's been so unsuccessful, but we're going to throw stuff at him that he probably hasn't seen before. And our defense is starting to turn the corner. Last year, through the first, I don't want to say 9 or 10 weeks, we were just kind of meh. But when we hit our stride, we got very good towards the end of the season. And I think that we're starting to turn that corner. And if we can do some stuff to confuse him, you've seen our offense score on pretty much every drive. So it's going to be a question on who can remain more consistent throughout the entire game. Because I've seen a lot of teams play great for about 45 minutes, but if you can't if you can't play 60 minutes of good football, you're not going to win. So if the Dolphins can do that, props to them. I think they have got a chance to win this game, but you got to be perfect for about 60 minutes and get some help.
Well, I just think that, again, I want to put more onus on the Chiefs instead of us having to be perfect. Stop the run. When you prove you can stop the run, I think that we'll worry about giving Tua different looks. Because Brian Flores, if you get 5 yards on first down, he's going to come right back and say, you got to stop it first. You got to stop it. And if you can't stop that run, and another thing, the thing that I love about Tua is he finally gets it. You have Devontae Parker, who is a 50-50 guy. If he's on the outside, just throw it up. He's going to make a play or bat it down. And that's where he eats, making a play on 50-50 balls. And Mike Gesicki, the next Travis Kelce, but more athletic.
No.
But more athletic. Way more athletic than Travis Kelce. But Travis Kelce is the GOAT to me. He's the GOAT to me. But I'm saying Mike Gesicki is that guy. I've never seen a tight end that athletic in the NFL that moves the way that he moves and has hands the way that he. Did you see that Michael Jordan catch last week? One-hander. Every week he pulling down a one-hander against 2 or 3 people. It's crazy, man. Mike Gesicki, that's his security blanket, him and Devontae Parker. And Jakeem Grant, don't forget, he keeps calling Tyreek Hill out that he's faster than him, and I believe he is. People, don't forget about
find out
Jakeem
Sunday,
Grant.
I guess. We'll find out Sunday.
Don't forget about Jakeem Grant. He's been wide open so many times this season, but the chemistry is being worked on. And finally, they look like they're getting closer and closer to connecting more and more because every game he's over the top 2 or 3 times. Just like Tyreek Hill, and he keeps calling Tyreek out, saying that he's faster than Tyreek, but I haven't seen the race yet. And I believe that he might be.
I've never seen anybody faster than Tyreek Hill, so hey, we'll see. But
Jakeem Grant, we'll see.
Like you said, this is going to be a good game. I've been looking forward to it for a while. It's in Miami. We did good things in Miami last year. So it's going to be fun to return to that stadium. But honestly, what do you think the Dolphins have to do to get the Chiefs off balance on offense, not on defense? We kind of answered the defense, but what are you going to throw at us on offense to kind of get our secondary confused?
Bring the ball. It's nothing special for us. We're not going to confuse. We're going to spread it out. Tua's going to throw those quick slants and things. Let Devontae and Gesicki use their body to get it. And then as we continue to abuse the short passes, they're going to have to call for help, and we're going to have back draw you all. And they're just going to keep you all balanced because we saw success in the halfback draw. And some teams have said, okay, now we need to stop this. But the Chiefs doesn't have a good run defense, and they don't have a good pass rush. You're basically everything you're explaining to me is what Tua needs to have a monster day, man. Have his best day. I mean, I don't know if you saw him against the Arizona Cardinals. The back and forth, and we end up on top. But Tua, same situation. What you're explaining to me is he's going to have another Arizona day, and that was his best game, coming back by 10 points, winning that game over Kyler Murray.
Well, and see, I wonder, we might try to blitz 7. So you're going to probably have those short dump passes. But even when we rush 7, we still can't get to them. For whatever reason, we'll bring 7. Unless your offensive line's exceptional, we still can't get to them.
I don't think the Chiefs will ever bring 7 in this game. I know he's a young quarterback, but I don't think they'll bring 7 because Andy Reid knows, we have no-name actual talent in the receiving core. Guys that aren't leading the league, but if you leave them one-on-one, you're not going to send 7 and have Devontae Parker on a 50-50 ball up the sideline. You're not going to send the same thing with Gesicki across the middle. Eric Reid knows that. And like I just mentioned, people worry about us worrying about Tyreek Hill one-on-one across the middle, sending 7. Jakeem Grant, he's our number 2 outside receiver since Preston Williams was out for the season 5 weeks ago. He's been doing better and better every week. But you can't have him man-to-man on a crossing route. Jakeem Grant's going to burn every single person in your secondary. And that's something Tua had to learn early on. When you watch the film, Jakeem Grant is open all day, but he's looking at where he wants to go and not noticing that. Now he's looking at the middle of the field and feeling everything and seeing the open guys. So they're not going to send 7. If you all send 7, we're going to be putting up points as fast as Mahomes does. And that does not work in y'all favor. It does not.
Yeah.
No, they're not sending 7, bro. I don't see that happening. I will welcome it, though, but no, that's not going to happen.
I hope it doesn't. But, I mean, we got some burners. I mean, this all sounds good, but until you guys can do it, I mean, until you guys can do it, I mean, it's all talk at this point. But I think that you guys are going to keep it close. I've said this from the beginning. We play teams very close. Often we'll get up to a lead and then we'll let other teams come back. But I think that they're going to be motivated to win this game. I think, like you said, both teams, I mean, they have significant playoff implications on the line. So both teams are going to be highly motivated to come out and give it their best shot.
Well, we're playing with house money, though. It's a little different. That's what's even more dangerous about us. People have to understand, this is what everybody said we were rebuilding. They said we were rebuilding, right? And a year later, here we are, we sit 8-4 and control our own destiny. And I mean, we're playing with house money. People, there's not many people that picked us to have more than 5 wins this season. Not many at all. And then on top of that, you can't say it was early on with Ryan Fitzpatrick because he was 2-3 when we started. We were 0-3 when we first started. So it wasn't, you only got out to a lead because of Ryan Fitzpatrick. No, our losses came with Ryan. So ever since Tua's been in the game and Byron Jones came back from injury, remember we lost Byron Jones the first game, the first play, and he was out for 3 weeks. And we went 0-3 when he came back. And we actually start shutting people down and stop running those zones to make up for the gap. It's been a whole different defense. Totally different defense. Had we not played those first 3 games, we would be number 1 in the NFL in every statistical category in football. Because the first 3 games, we gave up 500+ yards of offense all 3 games.
I mean, you guys have a good defense. What's your overall ranking? I want to say 2. Or is it 2 or 3?
Oh, the defense?
Yes.
I thought at last I saw it was 4. Well, that's not including last week, so it might be 3. We won like 23 or something. So, who did we play? Well, was that the score?
I got no idea who you guys played.
I mean, it was just a week ago, but we beat them. We blew them out somewhat.
Did you guys play the Jets last week?
No, we played. Was it the Jets?
I'll check.
Yeah, check real quick. Man, they're going by so fast. It had to be somebody really bad, so we didn't care.
Yeah, you did play the Jets. You beat them 20-3.
So that was whatever. And in the first half, our offense, they just couldn't move. And in the third quarter, we just picked up like 17 quick points. And then we cruised for the rest of the way, running the ball and playing defense. Literally just running the clock.
Cincinnati. Oh, you guys played Cincinnati.
Oh, it was Cincinnati? Yeah, okay,
yeah,
that's what it was. See, they're all jumbling up, man, because it was like a trash team that we didn't even care much about, man. So, yeah, man.
But, dude, looking at your point spread, you putting up 20 points or less in the last 3 games. And all of those games were against defenses like the Broncos is an okay defense. I'll give it to you. But the Jets and the Bengals had no quarterback. Joe Burrow is not there anymore. So 19 didn't even cut it.
I'm sorry, but that kid actually played well. But at the same token, regardless if they had no quarterback, they only got 7 points. And that 7 points was off of a miscommunication. It was literally like an 80-yard play where they threw like a screen pass on a 3rd and 2. And we literally went for it all, and they went right around the corner and ran up the sideline. That was the only place they got in the whole game, and that happened really early in the game, and we shut them out for the rest of the game. But as far as offense, the lack of putting up so many points I think a lot of that has to do with them still trying to figure out this playbook with Tua and trying to establish the run. We don't give up on the run. We just don't forget as well. We drive all the way down the field, and our running backs, for some reason, fumbling the ball. And I have no clue why. We have an 80-yard drive, and we fumble on our way in the end zone, stuff like that. So our offense hasn't been very explosive while they've been trying to figure it out with Tua. But what we saw last week in the third quarter and the fourth, they have a game plan now. They know what they need to do. Spread it out. Stop playing two receivers, loading the box, and allowing them being predictable. Because for the last 4 weeks, we've had two receivers wide, I formation, trying to run or the RPO, running out of the pistol. That doesn't work for us because we don't have the O-line for that.
Yeah.
We have a pass blocking O-line.
You put your four receivers, two receivers on each side, and just nobody in the
everybody's in the box, and it's so predictable. It's an RPO, and we're not even throwing the pass. So they've been protecting Tua a lot. And when they finally take the leash off of them and they go 4 and 5 wide, we go down the field without any resistance. Without any resistance. And what's crazy is we did that against Arizona Cardinals, his second game. And it was flawless. I mean, we put up like 30 points. It was a shootout. And they just went back to the conventional offense. But you also have to understand, he hurt his thumb, his throwing thumb. He's been playing with the hurt thumb the last two. That's why Fitz got the start 3 weeks ago or whatever it was, because they said they can see that the thumb is affecting Tua in practice. Last week they said it's still affecting him, but he's still good enough where he should be the starter. So this week he's not wearing the cast anymore. He's come out and said, "Oh, it's all better now. I'm good." So we'll see what we get out of him. We'll see if they open it back up and let him be free.
I mean, looking at my notes, the one thing that I said is you guys have to run the ball. If you guys can't run the ball, you're not going to win. I think that in order to win this game, you guys not only have to run the ball, but Tua, when he does get those opportunities to throw, he's got to hit on them. I mean, when you got an open receiver, you got to hit him. You're going to have to be near flawless to win this game. But I mean, we're going to have to be good too. But I think that you guys got to put up 30 to 35 just to have a chance to win. And even then, it's not even a guarantee. So what would you say is the final score, and how can you kind of see this game playing out?
Tight game where we're on the ropes the entire time, because I think we're going to jump out early and take a lead. And I think that we'll feel like Mahomes could come back at any time. My final score prediction, 31 Miami, 24 Kansas City.
Okay, I was going to say, when you said you're going to win by
10,
you said you're going to win by 10 points, I was like, dude, Mahomes has –
I said we could shock. I said we could shock people. And because what's going to happen is I think we're still going to get turnovers. We're going to figure out a way to turn Patrick Mahomes over. When things are a little rougher in that secondary and he's not having an easy day all day, he's going to start taking some chances. And listen, the one thing that we cannot allow the Chiefs to do is allow Mahomes to run free out of the pocket. You're giving him a guaranteed play, whether he runs the ball or whether here's the blueprint for Kansas City. Throw the easy passes, but if I get out of the pocket, it is impossible for people to guard wide receivers for 5+ seconds. It's impossible. It could be a broken play. Tyreek Hill's supposed to run a dig route. It's not there. Kansas City makes majority of their plays after the original play didn't work.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why you have to send pressure, because you want them to make a decision on the play right away. Their biggest plays and their most hurtful plays happen after the original play call didn't work. It wasn't there. That's improvise. Oh, 60-yard down the field. That wasn't even the route that was supposed to be ran. It wasn't even the route. The man on the replay ran a 10-yard dig, but it wasn't there. But now he gets a 60-yard bomb.
Just kept going. I mean, you give Mahomes space, it's gonna be tough to beat him. If you do let him get outside, he ranges to his right a lot. If the pocket does just collapse and he has to run to the right, I mean, that the field just kind of opens up for him. So
it definitely. I mean, that's a guaranteed play.
How often do you think you're going to blitz? Like how often do you think you're going to send men?
You mean more than 4?
Yes. Yeah.
40% of the time.
Okay.
That's a lot. We had a game where we ran 19 zeros which means everybody comes and it's just one, no safeties, just man to man, and everybody comes. We had a game where we ran 19 zero coverages and zero coverage. And that was against, if I'm not mistaken, the San Francisco 49ers. That's when we blew them out like 40-something to, I don't know what they had, like 7 or something like that.
I don't know, but you guys threw everything at them.
But Garoppolo, they benched him in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They benched Garoppolo in the third quarter. So we ran 19 zeros. And the next game, I think we had to play the Chargers, and the coach pointed it out. I watched a game where they ran 19 zeros, so they're going to send pressure. We did the same thing with the Chargers. Not 19, but I think it was like 12. But we did the same thing and the same result. Same result with the Chargers. Gave it to them too.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are going to blitz a lot, and I think the question is if like you said, you don't know if the numbers are good. I think we're going to see a lot of those quick little slants, and depending on if your man can stay together, like stay with them, we'll see.
That's what we want. That's what we want. That's what we want. We want to make you throw the quick slants all day. Why? Because even if you catch it, at least it's a tackle right away. We cover. We cover. That's the difference. We actually cover. We don't like give the cushion and say, oh, there he is, and 5-yard separation where because y'all get a lot of yak. You get a lot of yards after the catch.
Kelsey's the best at that, by the way.
Yeah. We cover.
Like Kelsey will do the center move in basketball where he just turns his shoulder and he just beats his man and no one can get him.
Kelsey does the move. He turns around, he catches it, and he knows which way the guy behind him was going. He fakes and then runs the other way. It gets all little tricks, but we cover. We're not going to let you just come, turn around, sit in the zone. We're going to follow you. We're going to, from the snap, we're going to follow you. We're going to, oh, you're going over there? You can beat us, but that ball has to come out fast. That's why we're aggressive. We're aggressive in those first 10 yards. The ball has to come out fast. And if it's a slant, think about a slant. Mahomes has to be perfect throwing it, and the receiver has to be perfect whenever that corner puts his hands on them, getting good position. And if they are, we'll take it because we're going to tackle you after those 5 yards next down. But we're not trying to give up all that big gain after. And then on top of it, our defensive line loves batting down balls. They know if they're sending pressure and Mahomes cocks back, hands up, a lot of them. It's going to be a great game, man. It works in our favor if you're throwing slants and the quick routes. That's in our favor.
Fun game. It's going to be a really fun game because, like I said, we could see each other again in the playoffs. We'll have to wait and see, but we could face each other in the playoffs because I think that, honestly, anybody in the 2020 has been crazy, man. I think that anybody in the playoffs can beat anybody on any given Sunday.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I'm a little more critical. I'm a little more critical in the playoffs. That's whenever I start talking about this team is much younger. You're a Super Bowl winning team. In the playoffs, it would be so much more difficult for us to do the things I'm talking about versus right now. Because your season, we're a young team. You got to understand that our team is really young. A lot of these guys are coming into their prime, so they're really young. So I don't know, man. 31-24.
31-24. I mean, we'll see. I know a lot of people in the comments are like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But hey, I mean.
Yeah, I get that every week, bro. I get it every week. I got it with the Cardinals. I got it with the Chargers. I got it with this. I got it with that. I got it with the Rams. I mean, I get this every week. What is this guy talking about? Then I don't hear from anybody after that. If we go out and we do the things I said and we win 21-24, I'm just urging people to understand that the Chiefs are a monstrous, great team. But you have your worst games when teams play man-to-man, bump and run, and send pressure. It's already documented. Just go watch film. The Patriots are the ones who wrote the blueprint in the AFC Championship game. First half, they blitzed, they man-to-man. Mahomes took 5 sacks in the first half. 14-yard sack, 9-yard sack. I mean, it was terrible. He couldn't do anything. You had 0 points. And for some reason, I don't know why, they went into a zone in the second half. And the Chiefs came all the way back, still lost, but came all the way back. The
I've
blueprint is
never
out.
seen Pat not put the team in the position to win, and I've never not seen it. He's going to put the team in a position to win, and I think that this could be a situation where the last team that gets the ball is going to win it. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get that far, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think that you're banking on your defense getting a couple turnovers, banking on your defense getting a couple turnovers, and I think that our defense has got to show something too, because I'm not really happy with how we're playing right now. We should have beat the Broncos by a lot more. And I understand that it's the NFL and it's not easy every week, but
given Sunday,
this is when you need to tighten up, or like you need to be playing your best football at this point in the season. I think that both teams are going to bring it.
If you do lose to the Dolphins, it's not an emergency, bro. It's not 911.
I'm not going to be mad whatsoever, honestly. I think that this team has gotten a wake-up call the last couple weeks, and they haven't really done anything with it. So I don't want to say a loss would be good for us because with our schedule coming up, but it could help us in the long run. But obviously you don't want to lose.
At all.
But no shame in losing to the Dolphins. Like I said, you're a good team, and I think that you will make the playoffs. And come playoff time, I mean, anything can happen. So, TD, I appreciate you coming on the show tonight. Where can the people find you?
Thanks for having me. I'm at TD Phins Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. That's my little one. He's like, it's time to go, Daddy. Give me a second. But yeah, TD Phins Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Check it out. We also have an AFC East roundtable conversation that we have every week. So check that out as well. But that's pretty much it, man. Just a good old Dolphin fan, just loving football right now. It's going to be a good game, win, lose, or draw either team. It's going to be this is our test. We appreciate having such a great opponent to figure out how good we are or how bad we are. So it's that simple, man.
Yep. Okay, so follow him and subscribe to him at TD Phins Talk. You can follow me and subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 4,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate it. And win, lose, or draw, I will be here this Sunday to break down this game. Hopefully it will result in the Chiefs win. So, again, I think
it's a loss. It's a loss.
Have a great rest of your Friday night.